And we're back. It's another episode of Skip My Scars. Guys, can you believe it? We are getting into the nitty-gritty of all of the stories of so many women. And why not have a conversation with just us? Because I think we've been through a lot, Wynette. Would you agree?
We have.
So today, we are going to have a conversation about motherhood. My name is Monita and I am your favorite business consultant. Take it away, Wynette.
And I am Wynette McPhee. Hello, everyone. We are back for another week of Skip My Scars. We are happy to have you. I am your favorite wedding consultant, and we are back. We are talking about motherhood today and all of the highs and the lows that come along with it.
Yeah, and there are so many. And it is such a wide gamut. When you talk about being a mother, there are persons that actually never bear children, but if you check when they leave this earth, the amount of people who they've had impact on and who called them might be astounding. And so I've definitely, as a mother, I can say that my experience has been so wide. And of course, my experience of being a mother and learning how to do that started with being a daughter. And I mean, of course, that's the obvious thing because we are all someone's children. And I experienced my mom do her best with the hand she was dealt, and the way I guess that she perceived life is what she did to go forward. And so I grew up with a mom who, she showed love. She tried her best to show love. I remember my birthdays always being a big deal, even though there wasn't a lot of money to accommodate that being a big deal. There was the fact that she tried. So she would bake, and to this day, it's still probably one of my favorite kinds of cake, chocolate cake, because she would, if she had to bake that cake on the stove top, I had a cake. And so just those memories of her trying to provide, trying to go forward, even though ultimately I think life just became a lot for her. And so when I became a teenager, she just kind of checked out of reality. By that time, no one was a baby anymore because I have 6 siblings. And so even though she tried her best and she tried to provide with the level of education that she had, a failed marriage, by the time I was 5, I think my dad left, never came back. Couldn't tell you what the man looks like to this day. She just, I guess all of those life events and so much trauma and her own childhood being rough, she just was not able to keep it together. But I'll tell you, when she was a mother, she was a mother. When she was being able to be present, she was present. And so I definitely based my foundation on how I loved my children and the way that I try to show up for them, the good parts of what I do remember from her being able to invest into my life. She did. I remember an instance where towards her time of really not really being able to keep it all together, I had an instance, I guess I was acting out in school, and I think I cussed somebody's son out because they said something wild to me. And of course, a parent-teacher conference was had. And I remember being petrified, not that I was afraid of her reaction, like how some people would be like, oh, my mom could beat me. I was petrified because I was like, Lord, they're going to realize my mom is not there. But I couldn't get back in class without her. And so when she came to the meeting, to just, I guess, out of her love for me, she pulled it together and she was able to have a conversation. Wow.
That didn't show that she was having these challenges. Like, she came and she showed up and she was my mom. And so I could never have any level of anger or angst towards her for not being able to carry me all the way through and not being able to have the relationship that a lot of mother-daughters have as the daughter gets older. I didn't have that benefit, but what I do have is the memories of a woman who tried her best. Even when her mind was leaving her, she pulled it together, and I think it was out of just her love for me. She tried, and so for that reason, I give her credit. I give her kudos. I honor her as my mother.
Yeah.
And that really laid a foundation for me to be able to push, to be a mother to my children. And as we talk about it, the mother to some other children, what was it, mine? But we can get there right now.
Yeah, well, at least you had your mother, My mother died when I was 13.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Every time I think about it, it just brings back such sad memories because I mean, I loved my mother so much. I still love her to this day. Even when days are hard, I wish that she was here, you know. And for me, even though you said that your mother's mind was leaving her, just the fact that she was there, you know, because I didn't have that advantage. My mother died at the brink of my teenage years, so I didn't get to have that mother-daughter relationship that I would have wanted with my mom because she was sick for a while. She probably was sick from I was maybe in 3rd grade, 4th grade. And then I remember her being sick as a toddler. I just feel like my entire life, my mom was sick. Maybe from I was about maybe 4. She always had some health challenge, one or the other. So there are very little memories I remember of her, happy times, but not to say that we had like a real mother-daughter relationship. But I loved her nonetheless because it was not until I became an adult that I realized that that was not the normal for everybody else, you know. And when I would see high school children, I'd wonder, do they have a mommy? Like, do the mummies not be around when you're in high school? Like, I thought this because my mother left me so early and then she was sick a lot. So it wasn't as though she could come to meetings with us or come to like take us. I could remember her taking us to church. I could remember her cooking with us, teaching me how to do household chores, all these different things. I could remember little things, but for the majority of it, I remember my mom being sick. And I could tell you that played a very pivotal role in the way that I mother my children. I have 2 daughters, a 16-year-old and a 9-year-old, and I try to show up for them as much as I could. And as my daughter is approaching the 12th grade, I am thanking God that I am here to see her even through. Like, I am thankful that I saw her through this far because I didn't get that opportunity. I didn't have a mommy to ask when I had, let's just say, my first boyfriend problems or even a problem with a female friend. Like, I didn't have my mom there. And then at that time in my life too, I didn't have like a female figure that I could go to and ask questions. And so for me, I just never understood what it was to have a mother-daughter relationship. And I tell my oldest daughter all the time, even when she say, "Mommy, I can't tell you that because you can freak out." And I look at her and I say, bear with me. Just, you are doing this and I am learning this. I didn't have it. I'm trying to give it to you. Bear with me. And so for me, I try to be not a friend to my children, but to be a mother to them, the mother that I would have wanted. And so for me, my children, the relationship with them, and for the fact that I have 2 daughters, is the most important to me. And I am just thankful to God every day that I am here to watch them grow, because I didn't have that. And every time I see people with their mothers and they maybe not getting along, or maybe, I don't know, whatever it is going on, I'm just like, I don't care. Just be grateful that you have her, because I didn't have mine.
Yeah. So how do you think that really impacted you when you had your first daughter? Just that mom not being there. Like, did you feel sure of yourself?
It impacted me a lot. For one, I could remember first being pregnant. I was so scared because I don't know how to do this. 1, 2, I live alone. 3, I'm about maybe 22 years old, I'm thinking. And now as I look back, that is extremely young to be, pregnant, living alone. You don't have your mother to call on. Like, I didn't have my mommy to even ask her how to make a baby bottle. I didn't have her. And so for me, it was really scary. I remember my aunt stepping in at the time, and she assisted me. I was so scared to be with my daughter, and I'm not ashamed to say this now, that when my aunt was leaving, I asked her to take my daughter with her, because I wasn't sure that I wasn't sure that I was able to mother her correctly. I think she may have been about She may have been about 6 or 7 weeks old. You know, my auntie was from Andres. She was them Andres woman, and she was like, try give me this baby, let me carry her here. So I packed up the baby stuff, and I sent her with my aunt, and I think she stayed on the island until she may have been about maybe 9 months when she came back. She was there for a long time, because I remember taking a lot of time off. Like every time I'd get time off from work, I'd fly into Andres to be with the baby. I would call every day. I don't think we had camera phones and all those things around us yet.
Yeah.
But I would call every day. I would send her like food, diapers, all the things, whatever, send monies. I remember like my daughter now, she took a lot of her immunization shots. She took them in Andres because she was there for a while. I was just so afraid to be alone with this child, because I was not sure what I was supposed to be doing. Boy, I just didn't know. But I mean, if you watch me now, you would be like, this can't be the same woman, because I mean, you know, listen, I will mother a baby now. But back then, I just didn't know what I was doing. I was scared to make a mistake. I was like, you know, I remember the first bottle I made. I made so much because it was like an 8-ounce bottle, and I made an 8-ounce bottle of milk for like a 3-day-old baby.
Oh, gee.
And so my auntie was like, no, you can't make all of that, because, you know, she's not going to drink 8 ounces. And I'm like, well, I know. You know, this is my first time. I remember changing the diaper wrong. Listen, everything was going wrong, okay? But I was willing to learn, and I learned it. By the time as I had my second baby, oh child, I was a pro. But, you know, it took time for me to grow into the role. And it was like everything I did, I just overthink it. Like I was overthinking it a lot. I didn't know whether I should be washing her hair this way, that way, with that shampoo. I didn't know if I should bathe her with this, wash it. It was like everything for me was just, I was an overthinker. I'm still an overthinker. I'm an overthinker by nature. But when it came to mother, because I wanted to be the best mother possible, and I wanted to be there for my children, I didn't want anything to go wrong. Even now, if they come to me and something is wrong, I automatically get into protector mode, because I just want to be that mother that does everything right. I don't want to be a bad example for them.
Yeah.
I just want them to be good citizens, right?
Yeah.
I just want to rear good citizens of this country. I don't want to be a mother that rears menaces. And I just think that everything that we do, I mean, I know it maybe sounds disjointed, but everything that we do contributes to the way these children turn out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. At least for me, I had the benefit of practice.
I didn't have that.
So when you're old enough to be a babysitter, I had a sister who is 6 years younger than me, I believe. 5 or 6, one of them. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Jessie. And so I grew up changing a diaper, and I wasn't that much older. I probably was like 11, 12, watching this little girl by myself and doing all these things. And then when my older sister had her kid, her twins actually, I was watching them consistently and helping with the bottles and helping around. So by the time as it came to having my own family, because I actually ended up... And we can save this for the episode about marriage, but I got married a month after I turned 18, and so I was in the heat of puppy love. And that puppy love turned into a dog baby, because I did not let that thing did not win. That puppy love evolved into marriage. And so 2 months, because you would think the average thing is, oh, she get married already like that, she must be pregnant. Nope, I just was in love. And so when I was too lazy and too immature to go fill my birth control, 2 months after I got married, I got pregnant. And so 2 weeks before my birthday, I had my first son. And so while I had the technical experience, like I could make a bottle, I could change a diaper, I could figure out, okay, I probably need to be sleeping while this baby's sleeping. I had that kind of thing down pat. It's just the emotional toll of having this baby and then not having my mom there, like for that support, how you had that aunt that flew in. Mm-hmm. My big sister, she came, and she, to this day, she's my kid's second mom. But to say consistently, like that person in there, like helping you,
because of course I was still a child. As grown as you feel at 18, you are not grown. You are a child and you are silly. And so I was navigating this marriage. My husband was only 21, so he was still finding himself as well. And so I remember one night the baby crying, and I'm mad now because I'm like, dude, you ain't helping to get up to deal with this baby. And so it's always me helping. And so I say, okay, I can be mad. And I put the baby to him. And then he get mad and he put the baby by the foot of the bed. And of course, now I can't see my baby by the foot of the bed. So I go and grab my baby. And so it was just like a lot going on with motherhood. Because you have these two children trying to grow up who jumps into this. And then you have this baby like smack dab in the middle of these people maturing. And so it was definitely a learning curve navigating, building a family with this newborn. And so just trying my best and pressing forward, and eventually, because of course now I had my child so early, I didn't continue on with college right away. So when I went back, and goodness, I gone back and he never come out because it's still in college. doing all kind of stuff. But there was a level of mother's guilt that came, because it's like, oh gosh, I still live in my life, but I feel as though I'm not spending enough time with this young kid now because I'm in school. Do I put this down? Do I not do my thing because my kid's here now? What's the right decision with this? So for some of the things, like when I was in Toastmasters, my young man was in the meeting, so he must use for like 4 or 5 or 6, and he was Toastmastering too.
Well, I could understand because listen, I got my degree and my children got it along with me to the point where I felt so bad some days because sometimes the baby would knock to the door and I'd be like, not right now, baby, mommy's busy, and she'd be like, you writing another paper? And that used to tear at my heart because I'm like, oh Lord, here I am writing another paper and my children want my attention. And so I remember when I told them that I graduated and I have to go back, and both of them, even the oldest one who doesn't like to give me hugs and kisses, she was like, you have to go back to school again? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a break just because the two of you asked me to. And I'm like, y'all think y'all is my husband? But anyway, the two of them just wanted me to take a break. And I was like, you know what? For a minute, I will take a break because I understand that my children want me and they need me. And so that is what I did. Yeah. And so I totally understand when you say that he was along with you. My kids were along with me for the ride.
Yeah. And so that definitely evolved. And so later on in my career, because I thought I was going to be a one-hit wonder, I had my one child upwards until he was 11. And so I said, okay, that must be it. So I start counting down. I say, okay, by the time I'm 38, he can be long gone. And I just go start doing cruises and stuff, just living. And then the Lord added so I was graced with my second son. And that has been an interesting journey. So my second son, when I had him, I'll never forget, I was sitting down, it was a Wednesday. I was on the phone with one of my squad mates, kikiing and laughing at something, and we must have laughed too hard, and my water burst. I was like, well, why I peeing up myself? Because with my first son, and my water didn't burst. I didn't have that experience. And so I was like, oh, that's my water. So she had to be like, no, I think you're in labor. And so that began that journey. And eventually as time went by, I started noticing, I was like, hold on now. This little boy, he's coming along. He's saying the mama, the dada, he's crawling and he's coming along. And then he had this stint when he was about 10 months, just because he just had some things going on with him. He had some preliminary surgery and all of that, but he ended up having this fever. And I think the fever was probably shortly after he had his immunizations. And so he had to be hospitalized for about 3 days because the fever would not break no matter what we did, no matter what the doctors did, the fever would not break. And so we were in hospital. And so after he got home, that began a journey because it was like he reset. So I had to teach my son how to like crawl again because he wasn't crawling, and like just to like come back to himself. And it was like, this is strange. And then I started to notice as time progressed that, hold on, he's not, my oldest son by the age of 1, he was walking and he was talking. But now my husband is saying, just give it a minute, every child is different. So I said, okay, I watched it. And then at 18 months, when I realized the only word my child would say is shoe, I said, hold on now, this ain't right.
So took him to the neurologist. The neurologist was like, okay, we got to do some tests. And this happened, COVID was an inception at that point. And so really getting around to doing what needed to be done with all the testing and all that, it kind of slowed. So eventually we started getting testing done. We had the MRI, hearing tests, eye tests, going to these different doctors, all the kind of things, blood tests, all the stuff, trying to come up with a diagnosis. And eventually, I guess it was landed on person saying, okay, this looks like autism. And so that began that journey, along with the journey of health challenges. So for whatever reason, and I am doing some research now and finding that a lot of times there seems to be some other ailments that plague children who've been diagnosed with autism. And so he was hospitalized. It was like, I ended up going on a fast at one point because it was like every October my child was in hospital. Some major surgery, something going wrong, something. I say, hold on, I'll pump the brakes. And I'll tell you, after that fast, I never had a problem no more.
Wow.
So some of these things may be spiritual. So I never had the challenge with him being hospitalized anymore. But now we're on a journey of him doing speech therapy, and even just being prayerful about finding the right school for him, because I don't want him to be in an environment where persons don't understand and they don't treat him well, and just knowing the right amount to challenge him so that he's not underperforming, but knowing when to give him grace, because of course now he does have his challenges. And so that has just been a long journey. And Wynette, I almost forget, was the major part of the story. In the middle of navigating this with my son, I end up taking in other children. So my niece and nephew come to stay with me at that time because those parents were having some challenges. And so now I have my 1-year-old, a 1.5-year-old, and a 2-year-old in my house. And I in law school.
Girl, listen.
So when I tell you that brought out parts of me I never thought possible, because remember, I was a one-hit wonder. So I only had this one child, and then my big sister would help me from time to time when I needed it. So I wasn't used to all of these like things going on, the children coloring on the wall and the this and the that and the third, and it was so, that brought me to a new level. I discovered a part of me I never knew existed, because I knew I had some maternal instincts, but I didn't know I had that much.
But I think when you have to, you will. I think that's what happens in motherhood. I think a lot of the times we think that we cannot do something, but when it comes to your child, baby, you will do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Because you can get it done. I think for me, that's one of the things that motherhood taught me. No, you could do it, and you can get it done, and you can do it now.
Yeah.
Because children don't know that. We don't know. They just know that you are mommy, and mommy makes it better. Even I think if I had my mother today, if I would call her, I call on you because I want you to make it better. Even as big as I am, I want you to make it better. And so our children depend on us to make it better. So we do it because we have to.
We figure it out.
Yeah, we figure it out.
And the thing about it is, after all of that, you would think that you would figure it out, and I find day by day you still don't know.
Yeah, you really don't know, but you will know when you get in the position and in the shoe. You will figure it out, and you lay down in bed at night and you be like, boy, today was a day, but I got through it. Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing in motherhood, just figuring it out and getting through it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's as little as figuring out what to cook for dinner, and sometimes it could be as big as what? I don't know. It could just be as big as whatever, but boy, it is an interesting journey. I wouldn't change it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I love my children. I love the highs, the lows. I just wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change anything about it.
Yeah. So now, as a mother of a teenager, and then you can speak to this as well, like I'm excited for the future. I feel as though after they navigate and they start to find themselves through, and you watch this little person like grow into like a real person.
That. I think secretly I love watching my daughter grow into her own person. I know she probably cringing if she's watching this, right? But I remember bringing her home in this little pink night dress, and now I see her in the 11th grade preparing for BGCSEs, and she's talking about college and what she wants to be, and I am so proud. Like, you are mine. You know, I am so proud, like, to just watch this little person. But she's always had a big personality. It is just, you know, she's always had a big personality, and it's still big. But I'm in awe watching her just grow into this person.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with my son. Just watching him, he's so tall now. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I just sit and I ogle him sometimes. I'm like, look at my man child. Because there's a sense of pride. Like, you don't even have to do anything special. And I think that's how the Lord may feel about us sometimes. Like, you just mine, and I am proud of you just because you're mine.
Yeah.
But on top of that, just to see the level of empathy that he has.
Yeah.
Even when he talks about some of the situations with his friends and like moments when he steps up to encourage them, like
my daughter too.
It just makes me so proud. Like, okay, maybe you did do something right. Maybe something went well here.
And listen, even when she's mouthy, I'm like, yeah, that's my child too. You know, because she is my child. So I look at her and I be like, you know, I am so proud. Like I tell her, and she always cringes or whatever, but I'm sure she knows that I'm proud of her.
Yeah. So definitely, the journey continues.
It does.
Because I don't think you ever stop being a parent. You never stop being a mother. And so you just have to press forward, and you have to be intentional to enjoy it as it's happening with everything that you may have to juggle with it. You have to take time out to make sure that you're enjoying the process of being a part of this person now who's eventually potentially going to parent children of their own.
Yeah.
And so I guess with that, what would be the scar that you would encourage others to skip?
The scar would be not to overthink it. I think as a mother, I overthink things a lot. Even now, I find myself doing it with my eldest daughter and with my youngest daughter. I find myself overthinking things like, am I doing it right? Am I doing enough? Am I doing too much? It is always a constant, I want to say battle, but it's always constantly me thinking, am I being a good enough mother? Am I setting a good enough example? Am I rearing these children the way they should be reared? Am I cutting them too much slack? Am I being too strict? I mean, sometimes I feel like just roll with the punches. Let it flow. Don't overthink it. Like for me, I think that's the scar that I would want persons to skip.
Oh, definitely. You can't say it any better than that. And definitely, we want you to share your stories. So if you have anything about motherhood that you would want to share, let us know in the chat, and we want to see it, because this platform is all about empowering women to share their stories and lay building blocks for other persons to stand on to avoid some of the pitfalls you may have gone into. So that is another episode of Skip My Scars. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much, and see you next week. Bye.
Bye.